motion that we submit the drafted, presented events ordinance to the city attorney for review.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
It's been moved and seconded to submit the proposed event ordinance draft revision 3.2 dated 5/27/2025 to the city attorney for legal review. Is there any other discussion? Yes.
I just wanted to thank JB and Doug for their work on this, because I know that we read through several
Especially
drafts.
JB and
Yeah.
Angie.
The three of us did a lot of work together.
Yes, you did, and I appreciate that it's only 14 pages long. Anyways, it looks good. Okay, any comments from the public? Okay, seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion is carried. Thank you. We have this electronically, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Carrie does
Okay.
it.
Carrie's got a PDF,
Okay.
and I can
Okay.
produce raw text if anybody wants it.
Okay, great. Okay. Moving right along, fireworks ordinance, any update there?
Meeting tomorrow.
Okay,
4:30.
Yasmin? Okay. 4:30 you said? Okay.
I think I forgot to tell you that, Carrie.
That's okay.
Ordinance review?
Okay, so I'm gonna jump down to the telecommunications.
Okay.
And I think that I'm the only council member that was still there. JB, was that you there?
I was there at the tail end
Okay.
before Peter picked up.
Do you wanna set up a time to go over? I found all the documentation that I had researched.
I am happy to set, after the meeting, let's set a date.
Yeah, okay, and then we'll do that, and then,
Did we get anything from Peter?
I haven't got anything from Peter.
So we're
but,
starting
yeah,
over.
So we'll just all the information that I had researched at the beginning.
Okay.
I don't know that, I'll double check with Peter again, but I
Putting
haven't.
together good
I
enough.
would,
to-
because
to do-
I think he's come out of the fog that
Okay.
he had.
He was in, okay.
and
There was a thought.
There was.
There was a
He-
fog, yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think he had COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah,
was a
it's
thought.
a
Yeah,
lot
it
of
was
things
it was
very-
and then, would like to go down the list to the next ordinance review item, if the council is ready for that, and we can move forward with that, and I'll present that at the next council meeting, because I'm not sure off the top of my head what it was.
Okay, our garbage cans on Broadway. It's here continually to remind me that we have some work to do there, but, Eric, remind me, last year, did we put covers on those, in the smaller cans on Broadway during rodeo weekend,
And,
Fall Fest?
Fall Fest.
Okay,
Yeah.
and we will plan on doing that again?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, all right. I know.
Makes a big difference.
It
It
does.
does.
It, I think upset one or two people, but the amount of work that it saves the city.
Did it really? They couldn't be bothered to walk 140
No,
feet
actually,
down the road and put
it
in
was a
big can?
situation
You
where I
can't walk
believe
15 feet down their alley.
Doug was putting the covers on the cans, and someone said something about, why would you do that when this big event's coming up? And he was absolutely great. He said, I'm doing what I was told.
Yeah.
Okay, I feel better.
Yeah.
This is just somebody that didn't realize what the second step was.
Right, and of course, maybe some of those people, if we can identify them, then have them help you the next time around and take all of that stuff out, there might be a greater appreciation of it. And then, of course, the sewer ordinance is just hanging out, waiting for some attention.
But is it worth keeping sewer ordinance on this list when it's basically just under ordinance review with everything else?
We can just take that off and put it under the ordinance review.
Okay.
That's a great suggestion, thank you.
I love seeing fewer bullets on the agenda.
Makes you feel more accomplished, doesn't it?
Yes,
Got one
yes.
done.
I will tell you that it may not seem like it, council, but you have been getting a tremendous amount of work done. None of this is easy. Okay, is there a motion to approve the claims for May?
Mayor, I will make a motion to approve the claims for May.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded to pay the claims for May. Is there any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion is carried. Okay, second chance for any public comment. Sean, thank you for coming, here tonight and for waiting until there was a chair available for you to sit in. Do you have anything for us?
I just had a couple things, I guess. Thank you to Eric for coming to the, rural board meeting and staying for the whole entire thing, cause he was down at the very end. So I'm pretty sure he got some information out of that, as well as we all did. The only other thing is just to remind everybody, we are in the 100 most deadliest days between Memorial Day and Labor Day, so careful out on the highway.
Thank you, I appreciate that. I will let council know that, during the interview process for lifeguards, one of our applicants expressed an interest in joining the fire department.
Oh,
And
wow.
Nice.
he got a hold of the fire department before I remembered that I was supposed to send the information to them, so, that's wonderful.
That's
I
awesome.
hope it works out. It was quite refreshing to have somebody in that age group express an interest. Carrie, do you have anything for us further this evening?
I actually do. Our auditor called, which I apologize, I did not get a chance to tell you, but they would like to do, the closing, out of our audit, either Tuesday next week or Thursday. And they would prefer at least one council member and hopefully you, the mayor. I know that's kind of, I thought Tuesday might work the best in the late afternoon. He's available at that point.
Okay, so, Tuesday, I'm actually in Helena until 4:30.
Oh, till 4:30?
Yeah.
Okay.
And, and Thursday I'm gone.
I
So-
remembered that, so,
So
yeah.
actually, let's set it up for Tuesday, and I will be here, but the later, the better,
Okay,
okay?
4 o'clock on Tuesday. And then if anybody else would like to, Angie?
I'm available, or you can do it, I do them normally, so,
Maybe I could learn something new.
hey, go for it, if you want to go.
And you both can come. I mean, it's fine.
Yeah, we just don't want a quorum.
Yeah, no,
There.
I'm good, if Vivian wants to do it, I'm good.
I'll just stay home.
So what, the meeting that Carrie is referring to, in my experience, is called an exit conference. And that is where the auditor will go through, some of the things that he observed as he was auditing the records and having the various conversations. And if there are any findings, we can talk about those kinds of things and actually talk about anything that comes to mind in those. Unless he fools me and limits it to something, but,
Is that what you were reading earlier?
yes,
Okay.
yes, that, where there's a reference about an end of audit meeting, that's
And
what
we
that
usually
is.
get the
So you're
packet
thinking
and
probably
audit
like
delivered to us.
around 5 or after 5?
4 o'clock, is that what you said, Carrie?
Yes, 4 on the 10th of June.
Okay. I can do that.
Okay,
Give you one less thing to do with that.
That'd be great,
okay.
I'm all for it.
Eric?
I have a little list here.
List.
The pool is running, so we had a very close call, but I was able to get a major pipe fixed, but, and then everything else is running as it should at the moment, so, everyone just keep your fingers crossed till the end of August. We were actually able also to flush the main, going up to the hill, so the water line that they just put in actually has water in it right now, and it's actually pressurized going up there from the system, so. Anyway, with our current pumps, we are actually able to reach the bottom of the water tower, so that's,
Oh, cool.
that's actually really cool, so, anyway, got that. The water tower project overall is actually going really good, they're actually starting to set up their pads for the next part of the projects as far as the actual construction of the structure going forward, so that's kinda interesting to see the transition going, back. They actually have the ground level, believe it or not, the big hole is gone.
Yeah?
So anyway, the big hole's gone and it's kinda interesting,
Quick
so.
question on that, Mayor?
Yes.
Can you tell us an approximate date when they're supposed to start stress testing the new tank?
Oh, no,
Okay.
no.
When do they start actually building that?
In
New town.
theory, it's June 9th, in theory. But so I know that's next Monday essentially, but that's when they're gonna start very loosely gathering all the pieces of people and bodies to start going up, so, yeah, so.
Just like a
anyway.
little progress.
Yeah, I mean, they're,
Big tank, that's a little progress.
oh, yeah, so, and then the street work is, the first phase is nearly done with all that work, so they're going really good. Short of, they didn't do a very good job on one sidewalk replacement, everything's done, they're actually gonna redo that, so, section of sidewalk, so.
Which one's
Yeah.
that?
What's that?
Which one's that?
It was the one that would've been on, just give me a second, Cedar Street. They got in a little bit of a rush.
North Cedar?
Yep, North Cedar. Yeah, they got in a little bit of a rush.
Oh, is that the one up here on the corner?
Yep.
Okay, yeah, I saw them digging.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, they got in a little bit of a rush on Friday afternoon and, yeah, so we're,
Thank you for slapping the contractors and making them do their job.
actually RPA, really stuck to their guns. I said, man, I wouldn't want my name on that at all, you know, and he goes, well, if the city doesn't want their name on it, we're taking it out. I said, perfect, so,
Thank you for that.
yeah. So, yeah, so, I think that's all my updates,
Okay, CKMA is almost finished with their part, right?
unfortunately, yes, yeah.
And
They have
Eric
been,
says that because they've been great to work with.
man, they've been good. I would suggest them to any group anywhere, so, yeah. Yeah, they've been very good.
And COP is good to work with as well.
They have been, yep. I don't work closely with COP because
Cause they're out there on the hill.
yep, that is beyond me, that work up there, so, yeah.
Okay, great, so let's see. Pool, streets, water, sewer's going okay?
Sewer's going
problems?
okay, I have one, the UV bulbs, got here this week, with my one sensor, so just with everything else, they're still back there,
Okay.
very safe,
okay.
but.
Any parks update?
The only thing with the parks is the restrooms are getting used, quite heavily, and, I'm hearing, Scuttle that they're very dirty. So I gotta clean them, I'm gonna be gone a little bit this week, so that's on my guys' list to do, and get them cleaned, the best way we have, and I don't necessarily have a good plan going forward of how to keep it that way, but I gotta figure out a rotation or something to get that done.
Soccer field.
Yes, oh my gosh. Tracy Mon reached out to me about redoing the soccer, shed that would be in Holloway Park. I forwarded the email to the mayor, cause I mean, ultimately it's not my call. But they want to tear that down and put another shed in the exact same spot. I don't see any reason why they can't do that, because there's no sprinklers, there's no nothing. It's in a great place as far as, usability of the park, it's not taking up a big footprint, it's in a good spot already.
So
The
basically
same
would be a
dimensions.
replacement of what exists, it just would be a replacement.
A replacement of an existing shed, yeah, so I don't know why, they couldn't just, do it, so, but again, it's not my call.
Does that require an official city council action?
It strikes me as being rather ministerial, and if there's consensus from the council, Eric and I will just handle it.
If it's the same thing going up that's coming down, I have no objection to that.
Me neither.
We're gonna pay for it.
Okay.
Stick
So,
built, walk through?
Yeah, it's a stick built, little shed, they found it on sale out at the silos, so it's one of those that are out there. Yep, so, yep, and then, and another interesting side note with that too, I've actually been working with Tracy about removing the huge soccer goals, Cause last year they were never utilized. I asked her about if I simply just removed them, if she would be okay with that. I wouldn't destroy them, I would just put them in the yard, and then if they ever wanted them within a reasonable time, like maybe 3 months, 6 months, I can get them back down there, they can use them, but right now, man, they're just a pain to mow around, you know, and since I've worked for the city of Townsend, I've never seen the big gulls used, those great big huge white ones. I've seen their little ones used, but never the big ones, so. Yeah.
Then we will handle that part.
One more question there.
Yes.
Some time ago, you had brought up the wonderful announcement that there's actually 2 storm drain pipes that head out north of the city, owned by MDT.
The storm drains.
And the suggestion is that you're gonna contact them and see if we could transfer ownership to the city, so that we could connect to them.
Wow, I don't remember that at all.
Ooh, I
So-
don't either.
Yeah.
This is.
That must have been a meeting that you had by yourself.
Oh, now you got me wondering if I wanna go look up the meeting minutes. I think it would be a cool thing to go, because as I recall, what you said is that it was a surprise to them that they existed, because they'd completely forgotten about them.
I remember that.
Are you talking about the water that came in 1920s?
Now, it's like the Pine Street storm drain right behind my alley. That actually goes into a pipe that drains out into the flood fields north of the city.
And there's one right by my corner on Broadway.
Yeah,
Anderson.
and then there's a second one up the city somewhat.
It belongs to MDT.
Well, there are 2 that run through my property. I'm right in the
My
town.
point is that if there's pipes that go out of this city that take stormwater away, it would be prudent for the city to have possession of them, so that as we plan for future changes in the city, we can actually modify them without having to use permission.
Makes sense.
Has anybody looked at the pipe, know what it looks like?
I think they're sorry, Mayor.
Go ahead.
They're talking 2 different ones. The ones, are you talking about the 2 that were on the gravel pit up there? Those are the old 1920 water system pipes.
So it's a different.
They're referring to the stormwater pipes that go through North Cedar. So you are correct, they're correct, you're just, there's 2 different things that are being discussed at the moment. So,
Okay, thank you for that.
I'm impressed that you
clarification.
knew about 1920 water system
Hey.
pipes.
I listened to Tim Grouser.
Good
He-
deal.
He led me, he taught me right.
There you go.
To be honest, Nate, the biggest reason that I'm concerned about this is because we're slowly creating a better drain and pump system behind our building, after finding out that the ADA required changes to the alley would actually make everything worse. And so I can perceive a day where it might make sense to say, I'll pay to go through and trench and pave and put in a pipe that routes a 2-inch drain into that Pine Street drainage. But right now, if I were to ask that question, I would have to ask it of both the city and MDT, and I don't share a lot of love.
Yeah.
It's a good question to ask too, because I recall the city's newly adopted growth policy does talk about storm
Stormwater,
drains.
yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Nate, do you have anything for us?
I just was gonna ask, cause you kinda brought it up, you're not gonna be here, is Timmy filling in? If we need him, or?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Okay.
If there's a sample need that would come up, yeah, he would. And it's actually kind of interesting, I did just take water samples in, so if we did pop on a bad sample, he would actually have to take that sample on Thursday.
And obviously he knows all about that.
Right.
Yeah, we're not skipping.
Eric will be gone tomorrow and Thursday.
Thursday, Friday.
Thursday, oh, okay, sorry.
She said you go tomorrow.
It's always tomorrow. Thursday and Friday to help with an archery program and 4-H camp.
Cool.
Yes, I think that's great.
Yeah. That's all I have, just about
Thank you,
Timmy.
appreciate that. Angie?
I have 2.
Okay.
I have been asked if there's people living in the RV in front of geysers because it's been plugged in.
Okay,
It's been what?
Plugged in. When I came down here, it was plugged in.
It is sometimes, it is not, it's called for charge batteries.
Yeah, that's why I'm asking, yeah.
Okay.
And then Teresa Anderson's come to me again about the tennis court light.
okay.
asked Sean to turn them on. He said that if they, and I'm referring to Sean Daffner with Northwest Energy. He stated that if the city asked for them to be turned off again, they would simply be removed. They wouldn't entertain an idea of an on-off switch or anything else. I know, it doesn't make any sense to me.
Okay,
Cause at the end of the day, they asked for the lights to be turned on for a soccer match or a tennis match that was that next couple days. But now they're just on a photo cell and they're just turning it on, and essentially, we don't have any matches or anything else that's going on there right now, so,
Correct. I mean, I would imagine, what's the guy with Northwestern Energy's name?
Sean Daff.
Sean. I wonder how he would feel if he had a light blaring in the front of his house 24/7, yeah. And I guess my issue with it is why has that never been a problem with them turning them on and off before, but now all of a sudden it has to be removed?
Yeah.
That'd be my question.
I
So-
could maybe ask someone higher up the food chain. Because the thing that I actually don't understand, that they're not wired to the box down below, but there is a power box already there, for it to potentially have an on-off switch. I mean, and potentially maybe the city could even, I don't know, purchase it, maybe we could even have it wired so that we had control.
So,
You
so
know?
right now, those lights are not costing the city anything.
Correct.
Okay.
Do we not pay for the electrical usage?
No, it's on a power cell.
Some solar power or whatever, power cell.
Not sure how that's
So
working,
why do
but
they not
this,
wanna give us a switch?
I think this is a matter of, as Eric said, move up the food chain.
Okay.
Last meeting, when the tennis people were here, that same issue was brought up, and they did talk about possibly getting some solar lights that would go on the court, that would go off and on, so then we wouldn't even have to worry about that other light.
Well, yeah, but, I mean, even with the solar lights, we'd need an on-off switch, because when the tennis courts aren't being used,
You're talking about different lights
Yeah.
entirely.
Yeah.
there's a big pole that's up there right behind the tennis courts right now that has a huge light on it, and the way that it's angled, like, even for me to back out of my driveway, it hits my rearview mirror and glares at me, but the Anderson's house is directly across the street from the tennis courts, and it lights up the whole, yeah, it's like daylight in the front of their house. So I understand where she was upset, yeah.
Yeah, specifically what the tennis people did say, well, maybe if we put in some sort of light system there, then we wouldn't have to worry about the thing. Exactly what their, whether it was solar or whatever, I can't say.
Okay, we'll see what we can do.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
JB,
Midweek last week, when I last looked, I saw that both Angie and I had submitted our candidacy for election. If I recall correctly, there's at least 2 other counselors here that have to apply. What's the deadline? June 10th or 15th?
6th.
6th?
Right.
Mine was done Monday.
Congratulations.
So, just to clarify, you filed at the clerk and recorders at the election administrator here. Did you also go on to the Secretary
Line
of
and
State?
CRS and all that
Thank
other,
you.
Yeah.
had to
Thank
open
you.
a bank account again.
Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
okay, thank you, thank you.
Is that the only 3 that are?
No,
the best we
if
do.
Doug is interested in retaining his seat, he also needs to file.
Okay, I get it on my calendar.
And the
Yeah,
sixth.
short of time.
Is it Friday?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah, there was,
You need a campaign bank account, Dougie.
the governor signed a piece of
That's-
legislation
No,
that had an immediate effective date that moved it back from the
Are
11th
they
to the
required?
6th.
Yep,
How
because
generous.
it's reporting.
Shortened up all the filing
I'm doing that.
dates
Yeah.
for everything.
I know, right?
And I'm not quite sure
That's not-
what the
Is
purpose
that a
is, but
requirement, Angie?
It is a requirement on the CERS,
Yeah,
CRERS, yeah, but it doesn't have to be a specific
Amount.
special.
Listen, I put in my personal bank
I
account because
did
I
as
don't
well.
expect to use any money.
Yeah.
I mean, all you have to do is just put in what the bank name is and
Yeah,
that,
they
you
don't
know,
even ask for the account number.
they
at
don't
this point.
ask for an account number or anything, and it's a matter of if you're gonna spend less than $500 on a
Right.
campaign,
Yeah.
which nobody at this table does.
Well, it's not like anybody's filed yet to compete with us, so.
Well, yeah, and I was actually told by the elector lady down at the county, Angie, that, oh, you know nobody's gonna run against you, right, so you have nothing. And I said, how sad is that?
That actually, considering how hard it's been to get the 6th seat filled, that is actually.
That
Ladies,
is really
no
sad.
one's gonna beat you.
Yeah. Anything else, Jamie?
Thank you, that's all I have.
Thanks for that. Vivian, anything else?
I mean, other than some campers and abandoned vehicles on the street that aren't supposed to be there.
Okay, so what I would ask, council members, when you
Ordinance, dude.
see those kinds of things, don't wait for a council meeting, get a hold of John,
Okay, that's great.
okay? Because the sooner we get that information to him, the sooner he can do his job.
I just have Kenny and Matt.
Okay,
I don't wanna.
done? All right. So I have, as we heard earlier, on the 10th, the wildfire and vulnerability assessment meeting in Helena, scheduled from 11:30 to 4:30, but I will be back for the exit conference. I'm out of the office June 11th through the 13th. I will be in Great Falls, so Angie would sign anything in my absence, and if I need to be here, just give me 3 hours, okay? And then the following week on June 20th, I will be out of town to Missoula, and there again, I mean, that's a Friday, it's a short day for City Hall, but again, if something happens, let me know.
You're only just a phone call away.
Yes, and Eric, that would include the weekend too, if something happens over the weekend. Okay? All right. That is all I had. Last call for public comment. All right. What's next?
Make a motion, we adjourn.
Thank you, Nate. Second.
Good job.
Moved and seconded to adjourn the meeting. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Meeting is adjourned. Thank
And I'm
you all
happy
very
to
much.
say, I was expecting it to be way later than this.
Not bad.
That's, yeah, actually, this was a pretty streamlined
It was a
meeting.
very hefty.
And
agenda.
honestly, for the record with the camera, it's like, the public was very polite and kind today.
I was pleasantly
I
surprised
was waiting for the
because
bullets to start flying.
Oh, this could have been
Well-
really angry and
There wasn't much
very
you could do.
controlled and very courteous.
I suspect